Good evening, everyone. Am I audible? Write in chat box if I'm audible. Okay. So I'm starting with biochemistry part. Yes. Good evening. I'm Anish Chiller. So today I'll be discussing just the introductory part. It would be better if you just interact with me today through chat box. No need of writing in like notebook and all. Just interact with me in the chat box. I'll be discussing the introductory part only today. So in biochemistry, we basically have five foundations. The first one is cellular foundation. The first one is cellular foundation. In this particular foundation, we discuss about the cell biology, like from how single cellular organisms to multicellular, we see the level of organization. Apart from the level of organization and from microscopic to microscopic level, these organisms share a basic cellular structure. They all share a basic cellular structure, like they all are composed of cell and its cellular entities, for example, plasma membrane. Yeah, but the composition of all these things may differ from organism to organism, but at the cellular level, at the cellular structure, from like single cellular to the multicellular level, they show similarities. For example, presence of plasma membrane and the content inside the cell organelles itself, the like genetic material that is passed from generation to generation. This all we will be dealing in the cell biology unit. The next foundation that we have is chemical foundation. In this particular foundation, we discuss about biomolecules. What we discuss is biomolecules. And from here we start our biochemistry unit. Like what biomolecules are? Biomolecules are the molecules that consist of carbon and with different functional groups, and they constitute the cellular structure. And in biomolecules part, we will be dealing with proteins, carbohydrates, lipids, and nucleic acids. So I'm just starting the introductory part one by one. Whatever you know about proteins, just the basic terms, write in the chat box. Just throw the keywords. Whatever you know about proteins, just throw the chat box. Yes, made up of amino acids. 50 amino acids. On what basis you are saying 50 amino acids? Long chain of amino acids. Okay. They are polymers of amino acids. Yeah, very right statement. 20. Okay. Peptide bonds are present. Yes. There are only 20 amino acids coded by DNA. Yes. Produced by ribosomes. Yes. Yes. It has amino group and carboxylic group. Yes. There are different level of organization in their structure. Yes. This was all about structure part. And when we deal about biomolecules, apart from structure, we also have to look into their function, biologically related function. Till now, you are just going with the structure thing. Let's talk about the function. Yeah, it was all about structure. What about function? Hormones. Okay. Yes, I was waiting for enzymes. Yes, I was waiting for this. Are all enzymes proteinaceous in nature? Somebody said the function of proteins is enzymes. What? Like all enzymes are proteinaceous in nature? I'm asking this. Yes, there is yes and no both. No, all enzymes are not proteinaceous in nature. They are of ribonucleic in nature too. Example is ribozyme and RNAs. Yes. Okay, now let us start. Somebody said proteins are polymers of amino acids. Yes. What amino acids are? Amino acids consist of one carbon, one carboxyl group, one hydrogen, one amino group, and this is the R. Now, when the R group it changes, it forms different amino acids. Somebody said there are 20 amino acids. Yes, there are 20 amino acids, but they are only standard amino acids. These are 20 standard amino acids. Means their genetic information, means the information of these amino acids resides in the genetic material, that is DNA. They are encoded from DNA. And other amino acids, they are generally the modifications of these 20 standard amino acids. Now, apart from amino acids, there are some essential and non-essential ones. What are essential amino acids? Write in chat box what are essential amino acids. These amino acids cannot be synthesized in our body, so we need to take them in our diet. Yes. And one there is also semi-essential also. At a particular age limit, we needed that amino acid in our diet, but after that age, we don't need it. So that particular amino acid is placed under the semi-essential. Now, amino acids are joined by which bond? Peptide bond. This is peptide bond. And it is formed by the hydrolysis step and the one water molecule is released. There are some Ramachandran angles, phi and psi, that are present in this peptide bone, and according to that particular rotation, they lead to the formation of secondary structures. Yes, amino acid have a level of structures that are primary, secondary, tertiary, and quaternary. And these structures, they lead the proteins into their active form. They make them active that contribute to particular cellular reactions. This was all about like introduction to proteins. Next we have is carbohydrates. Okay, now so keywords related to carbohydrates. Hydrates of carbon made of carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. Yes, main source of energy. Fatty acid and glycerol. No. Polyhydroxyaldehyde as well as ketones too. Yes. Yeah, yeah. Am I audible now? Yes, glycosidic bone. So what is the basic unit here in carbohydrates? Like in proteins, that was amino acids. What about carbohydrates? Yes, monosaccharides. And what is the general formula for carbohydrates? Yes. In proteins, we have a lot of keywords, but in case of carbohydrates, the keywords are somehow reduced. Yes, the basic unit is monosaccharides. Okay, reducing, non-reducing. I'm writing the keywords now. Mutarotation, homopolysaccharides, heteropolysaccharides. What about functions? These were all about structure. Now what about function of carbohydrates? The biological function. Major source of carbon provides energy, energy giving storage in form of glycogen and starch. Okay, it was all related with storage molecule and energy. Apart from this, in glycoprotein, sometimes used in signaling. Okay. What about peptidoglycan? What about peptidoglycan? Is it a carbohydrate? Yes, cell wall component. Is it a carbohydrate? Yes, it is polysaccharide. And what type of polysaccharide it is? It is heteropolysaccharide. What are its units? These are NAM and NA, N-acetyl uramic acid and N-acetyl glutamic acid. Okay, this will be all that we will discuss in the carbohydrate part. Apart from this, we can also see lectin molecules. Next biomolecule that we will be discussing is lipids. Now throw some keywords that are related with lipids. Yes, fatty acids, saponification, yes, glycerol, fatty acid plus glycerol. Okay, I saw the keywords. Again, they were all related with like structures, and even in the structure, the classification was not well clear. What about I say triacylglycerol? What about vexes? What about PUFA? Are you guys familiar with these terms? Glycosphingolipids, ceramide, sphingomyelin. Saturated and unsaturated fatty acids. Yes, somebody mentioned that earlier. एंड यहाँ से बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट क्वेश्चन पूछते हैं दैट इज रिलेटेड विद मेल्टिंग पॉइंट. Other things that we have is prostaglandins, thromboxane. Okay, who is doing this now? Yes, leukotrienes. These were all the derivatives of arachidonic acid. This will be all that will be discussed in the lipid part, and the final part that we have is nucleic acids. The last biomolecule that we will look into will be nucleic acid. Just throw some keywords. That will be last one. Then I'll tell about the other foundations that are left. Okay, DNA, RNA, adenine, genetic material, nucleotide, nucleoside, purine, pyrimidine. Yes. Nitrogenous bases in short, polynucleotide chain. Yes. Guanine. Yes. Okay, we will start nucleic acids from the first thing, that is their composition. They are the polymers of polynucleotides. What are nucleosides? Their composition.
Anish, just a minute. So I would request everyone kindly rename your device. We have to take the attendance. Such kind of things will not be like somebody by E, Y, J, B, I, S. This will not work. Similarly, somebody by the Realm C11 will not work. We just want everyone to rename their device, whether it is a phone or whether it is a laptop. You have to rename as a candidate name who have registered. Thank you. Carry on.
Apart from the composition of nucleotides and nucleosides, there are bonds that are present, even the hydrogen bonds between the bases or the phosphodiester bonds. And apart from this, we will also looking into the UV spectroscopy. Another keyword that you are willing to share, because that will be all about the interacting session. Then I'll be taking over the foundations. So the next foundation that we have is physical foundation. This foundation of biochemistry, it involves the reactions that are involved in the energy production. It deals with the things like gives free energy, entropy, catabolic and anabolic pathways, and somehow they revolve around the energy production thing. The next foundation that we have is genetic foundation. In this particular foundation, we deal with the ability of organisms, like they reproduce, and DNA is the genetic material that is like shared from like billion of years ago, from the like when the life existed and started, and it do consist of all the information that was like from the starting organism till now. And I'm giving an example related to the genetic foundation, that the things we will be discussing are like mutations. For example, this is the DNA segment, and here gene A is present that coded for glucokinase. Like generation after generation, this gene has been transferred from offsprings to offspring, and in that particular course, it leads to its duplication. It leads to its duplication, and like further, when this gene is transferred to offspring via reproduction, some mutation occurred in one of the two mutated gene, like mutation occurred, and now on this gene that coded for glucokinase, one of that has lost its ability to code for glucokinase, and it is somehow mutated, and that form codes for now, we can say, galactokinase. For a chance, if there is no duplication in that particular time period, then the gene that was original, the function of that particular original gene would have lost in the course of particularly the evolution. And all these studies we deal in the genetic foundation part. And the last foundation that we have is evolutionary foundation. All the changes that lead in particularly the genetic material, they are transferred to the offsprings, and in due course their mutations occur and the evolutions of organisms occur. Now let us see and take an example of like mitochondria and ribosomes. Earlier they were considered to be free living organisms. According to the endosymbiont theory, earlier they were considered to be free living prokaryotic organisms, but now they resides in the eukaryotic cell. These kind of study we see in the evolutionary foundation. Somehow I'm not able to see what is written in the chat box. Wait for a minute. Okay, please repeat. Sorry, I was unable to see what was written in the chat box. Somebody asked me to repeat something. Gunjan, you asked me to repeat that particular slide. What were you talking about? Am I audible now? Okay, the points that I have explained in this slide. Okay. See, I discussed the foundation that is typically revolves around the bioenergetics part. Yes, somebody in the chat box. Yes, okay. That involves gives free energy, entropy. We'll be discussing all these things in detail later. I'm just giving the introductory part on the foundations that resides in the chemistry. And the next foundation I discussed was genetic foundation, giving example of glucokinase and galactokinase. Like in genetic foundation, in genetic foundation, every organism has their ability to reproduce, and in due course of reproduction they pass on their genetic information to their offsprings via the genetic material, that is DNA for the higher organisms, and in some organisms we see RNA is also the genetic material. In this example I tried to explain like glucokinase is the parent enzyme or the enzyme that encoded here by the DNA segment. With due time during the course of reproduction, this gene somehow duplicated. Means एक कॉपी यहाँ है और दूसरी कॉपी कहीं क्रोमोसोम में उसने अपनी डुप्लीकेट कर ली. फर्दर जब कभी म्यूटेशन हुई तो किसी एक जो डुप्लीकेटेड जीन था उसमें म्यूटेशंस हो गई, और म्यूटेशंस की वजह से ग्लूकोकाइनेज एंजाइम इट इज कन्वर्टेड इनटू गैलेक्टोकाइनेज. एंड जरूरी नहीं है कि ग्लूकोकाइनेज म्यूटेशन की वजह से गैलेक्टोकाइनेज कन्वर्ट होगा. म्यूटेशंस कैन आल्सो बी ऑफ लॉस ऑफ फंक्शन टाइम. मींस एंजाइम का जो भी फंक्शन था वो लॉस्ट हो सकता है, खत्म हो सकता है. तो अगर डुप्लीकेशन नहीं हुई होती तो जो पेरेंट एंजाइम था उसका रोल ही खत्म हो गया होता. Is it now clear? And in evolutionary foundation, I gave an example of endosymbiont theory, that is mitochondria and chloroplast. Sorry, I have written here ribosome, mitochondria and chloroplast. They were the free living prokaryotic organisms, but now they reside inside the eukaryotic cell, and they have their different functions. As you will see in the catabolism part, mitochondria is highly involved in the production of ATP, and like even the main reactions they all occur, the main catabolic reactions they all occur into the mitochondria. And again here in chloroplast in plant cell it is highly important organ. Is it clear now? Today I asked for keywords only because I like the session to be interactive in nature. I don't want कि सब चुपचाप बैठे हैं और सुन रहे हैं, तो मुझे उससे कोई कुछ पता नहीं चलेगा कि क्या चल रहा है, कि क्लास ले भी रहा है या नहीं ले रहा. तो जो भी आगे ऐसे ही इंटरेक्टिव रहना है. इज इट क्लियर? And chemistry is the most important part, most important unit. अगर तुम कोई भी क्वेश्चन पेपर जिस भी फील्ड में तुम प्रिपेयर कर रहे हो तुम देखोगे तो बायोकेमिस्ट्री की सबसे ज्यादा वेटेज होती है. फ्रॉम ऑल द यूनिट्स ऑफ ग्रेजुएशन लेवल बायोकेमिस्ट्री की सबसे ज्यादा वेटेज. एंड इवन इन द बायोकेमिस्ट्री पार्ट अगेन प्रोटीन्स इस यूनिट की सबसे ज्यादा वेटेज होती है. जो भी समझा I will repeat it again, but you have to write it in the chat box. Okay. This was all from my side. If you guys are having any doubts regarding today's lecture, you can ask me. From tomorrow, I'll be starting with the proteins part. Thank you all.
So Anish, if you are done, we can wind up the class. Let me know.
What, sir?
So we are done with the class for today.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, so all the people are requested to kindly, whenever you sign in the class, you have to have your name, right? Because our attendance scanner get confused with the device name. So it will scan only the name. So we will not permit anyone with a device name like phone number or something like that. Plus the people who have to go for the material, they can contact me because it is having some minimal charge. Then there is a facility called Google Classroom, where these classes will be, records will be available so that you can listen again and again. So that is also some minimal charges there. Otherwise, everything is free, of course. Thank you very much for your cooperation. We will see you guys tomorrow. There will be at least one or 2 hour class daily after 6 p.m. because we know the timetable. Because we know that the timetable is quite hectic at the college level also. So we are keeping the classes from 6 onwards, because by 6 everyone would be free. So we will try to keep it 6 onwards or 7 onwards. Generally it will be 6 onwards, right? Thank you very much, guys. Thanks for your cooperation and thanks for being here. What, somebody said something? Just a minute. Rest, anyone having any questions, they can ask me or Anish in 10 minutes. Yeah, timetable is fixed. We will be fixing the timetable tomorrow. So we will be announcing the timetable by like 12 afternoon every day, right? Sometime it will be from 6 and sometime it will be from 7. So we will keep like that. 2 hours of class at least we will try to be minimum, because we have to cover everything within 4 to 6 months. So 2 hours at least you have to devote. On Sundays you might have a 3-hour class. Like today we started for lesser duration, because on day 1 if you will be given a heavy dose you will be get tired. So we will try to keep on like Sundays some 3-hour classes, but daily 2-hour class, because we have to cover everything. Anyone having any questions, they can ask me or Anish regarding anything. No, it is not mandatory. It is not mandatory. If you don't take, it's fine. If you can study by yourself, we don't have any issue. Yeah. So once we have in the mid of biology, the chemistry, physics, and mathematics will start. Once we will have the mid of biology, like 3-4 units of biology will be done, or otherwise on the weekends we will try to have mathematics, physics, and chemistry class. That's for sure. So everything will be taught. Don't worry about that. Anyone else having any doubt? Just WhatsApp me. We will send you the study kit or everything. So there will be some basic material, and then we will be uploading on the cloud. So those two facilities are having some charges. Otherwise, everything is free, and that too also minimum. We are not like, because we have been paid for the classes by Green Skill Solution as an education initiative under CSIR. So that we are having. Anyone else having any question? It's very minimal, Harshdeep. It is 2-3,000 only, not much. Hard copy. Hard copy will be sent via courier on the given address. Hard copy will be sent, and plus we will be developing more materials, like faculty will give other things on the soft also. Anyone else having any question? That is optional. The material also is optional because we don't want to have any constraint on anyone. Because the charges which are there, they are just for the printing stuff, nothing else. Any questions? Okay, guys, then take care. Enjoy your day. Thank you very much. Thanks for being there.